okay, yeah, that's for the second. I understand you. So, wo ist denn der Ralf jetzt? Belgische Fernsehen dürfen. Okay, haben sie.
Die dürfen nicht auf die Tribünen, ne?
Ja.
Da war einer, naja, das ist die alte Sache. Da war letztens einer da von, der hatte alles Mögliche dran. RTL, ZDF, was auf dem Mikrofon steht.
Ja,
ich sage aber 5 Minuten und dann.
Ja, aber dann, da gibt es wahrscheinlich auch verschiedene Geschmacksrichtungen. Frag mich nicht. Also, die haben und die sagen, das ist eigentlich. Ja, aber das Problem ist natürlich, wenn Belgien da oben steht, aber denn die anderen wollen ja natürlich nicht. Der darf hier diese der Deutsche, also wir diskriminieren ständig. Okay. Aber ich diskriminiere ja alle. Spanier, Japaner, Deutsche, diskriminiere ja alle, wenn sie da über.
Welcome to day number 6 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017. Day 1 of 4 games. This is our first. Russia taking on Belgium. So 4 more games of the group stage remain. And Russia and Belgium are first up this morning. It's the 3rd day in a row that Russia will play at 11 o'clock in the morning. No particular reason, we don't understand, but that is a fact. Alongside myself, Alan Marches, Peter Selby. Pete, Russia, just a point to qualify. Belgium to make a point. They can only finish 3rd, but they'd like to go out on a win here.
Yeah, it shows you what a tough Group B is, where the fact that's Russia, who've played so well throughout this tournament, still can actually fail to qualify for the semi-finals. They're currently in 2nd place on goal difference, but yes, a point will mean that they will then go above Spain, and if Spain and Turkey do draw, it won't be enough for Turkey then to qualify. So a point here for Russia will mean they'll go through. Doesn't matter whether they finish 1st or 2nd, and the winners of this group will play then the 2nd in Group A and avoid possibly England. And well, I know the English coach, John Pugh, he says that Russia are the favourites for this tournament, and I think he'll be delighted if they win today and secure top spots in the group. Big game later with Spain against Turkey.
Shalayev and Igorov are the danger men for Russia in this competition. They've got 5 goals apiece. Results so far, though, a victory over Turkey in that opening game, that rematch of the 2015 championships in Hereford. Then that 0-0 draw, which, well, that didn't help Turkey at all because it just left them in a bit of a conundrum. And then a victory of 11 goals to 1 for Russia in that 3rd game. 2 defeats for Belgium so far against Turkey and Spain. But as we said here, they could really change the outcome of this group with a victory here. They can only finish 3rd, but for pride, that would be a tremendous achievement. But a victory here for Turkey really would upset Russia, and Spain and Turkey's game all of a sudden takes on a completely different complexion.
Yeah, Russia, they're the overwhelming favourites for this game, and as John Pugh said, the England manager, they're probably the favourites for the tournament. So I do expect a convincing win for Russia in this game against Belgium. But obviously then we go on to Spain against Turkey, and what a game that will be. Spain, if they draw, they will then go through. But Turkey, the defending champions, they don't want to lose out on their European title in the group stages. They'll rather, if they're going to get knocked out, maybe in the semi-finals or the final, but they'll have plans on winning this tournament. But yeah, I expect a dominating Russian performance. They're a very solid team, very physical as well, and they've got their goal-scoring boots on eventually after a couple of games where they've only scored 2 goals. But then again, they were against the top 2 teams in this group alongside Russia in Turkey and Spain.
having viewed England's performances so far in the other group, nobody really want at the moment to finish in second position and get England in a semi-final. Let's see how that all pans out with our next graphic. We'll show you how teams can go through and what it might mean to them. So, of course, the first in Group A plays second in Group B, and then vice versa. That order of play is yet to be decided for television purposes. It's going to be decided a little bit later on today, but at the moment, so we're not sure which ones will play at 5 and which ones will play at 7:30, but all that will be confirmed a little bit later on today. One thing we do have confirmed is the 9th place playoff game will be between Romania and Georgia. Both of those have finished their run of games here, and both have finished, as was expected, in 5th position in their groups. We then have the 7th place and 5th place playoff games on Friday as well, and then of course on Saturday it's the 3rd place game and the final, of course, as well.
Yeah, just looking at the Friday fixtures, Romania against Georgia, obviously the two teams who have finished bottom, but the interesting game is that 7:30 kickoff, where of course one of those teams could finish 5th in this tournament and qualify for the World Cup. That's if Spain, who are hosting the World Cup, do reach the semi-finals.
So of course we're concentrating on Group B first off this morning. Let's take a look at Group A as well, and as we said, so far people will have took note of the fact that England have been scoring for fun and letting a total of 0 into their own net. So nobody really wants to play England at the moment. Germany need a victory tonight against England. It's as simple as that, unless France and Italy is a draw at 1:30. There's so much riding here. If France and Italy's a draw, then it's great for England, it's great for the home nation. There's a little bit less pressure in that game tonight, but either France or Italy get a victory, and all of a sudden Germany really are under pressure against the form team in this competition.
Yeah, it's worked out quite nicely, I think, for Germany. If I was one of the German players, then I would want to know before the match what I have to do. The fact that France and Italy play before them, I think, is a bit of a bonus. You don't want to be going into a game thinking, well, if we do lose, then we've still got a chance of going through. You want to know exactly what the permutations are for your game. So France against Italy, if France win that game, then of course they'll be then on 7 points, and Germany know that they'll need at least a point. And if they do get that point, I think that will be enough against England. But England are rampant at the moment. Not only 3 wins from 3 games, but as you mentioned, 19 goals scored, and they haven't conceded yet.
Okay, let's take some of the highlights from Belgium against Spain a little bit earlier on in this competition. And, that's a cracker. I mean, there's nothing that the goalkeeper could do about that, but at times we've been a little bit critical of Belgium's first choice.
Yeah, I've been critical of not only the lineup but also the position that people are playing in. You can see there number 9, Kevin Vanspoort, who for me is a centre forward. He stands on the opposition D and receives a long throw out by the goalkeeper. But in this game, a game that Belgium needed to win to stand any chance of going through, he was playing as a defender, and very little in attack for Belgium, and I think they did quite well actually to hold Spain to the 4 goals, but I think that's partly to do with Spain making many changes in the second half and just taking their foot off the gas.
Adrien Bonat does indeed start in goal for Belgium, so there is a keeper change, and you see the second choice keeper in net today.
And also their main player, one of their star men, is Alexander Vespes, who was suspended for the game against Spain. He was really their main attacking outlet in the first 2 matches, and he's now back from suspension. So Belgium will have a full strength side, and Spain, I do think it was Spanish just taking the foot off the gas in that game, but I really was disappointed with the effort from Belgium.
This was the big game, and it was Russia's first game. Turkey had already played one, and this was the rematch from that final in Hereford, Pete, and it was a complete turnaround. Turkey got off to such a slow start. Russia banging 2 goals in very early in the game. Igorov here from this free kick. He and Tikhonov are the ones that rained shots in. Tikhonov yesterday putting in plenty of shots on target for Russia.
Yeah, it was there was an element of revenge really about this game after losing to Turkey in the final 2 years ago in Hereford, and I went down by one of the kickboards for the final few minutes of this game, and it was a tremendously physical game. It was the Russians really targeted Turkey, their first game of the tournament, and they really wanted to win. And as you can see here in the last minutes, this is the goal that Turkey scored. Hassan Tate, that usual tactic of long throws to the number 11. And after that, you can see there's 5 team fouls for Russia, and they were upset that they didn't have another penalty in that game.
Okay, so for the final time today, you'll see the ball in our studio, because that, after today, is going to get replaced by the trophies. The trophies for the competition are here. So one last time, Pete, I want to explain to maybe people who are new to the sport what the ball is in terms of different to other football.
Yes, if you're used to an 11-a-side football, that's a size 5. This is slightly smaller, a size 4. And it makes a rattling noise, and they're ball bearings in a tin-shaped, or a tin UFO-shaped disc that's put on the inside of the ball, taped to the side, and it makes a rattling sound, as you heard there, a bit like a baby's rattle is the sound that I like to describe, and that's why there's silence inside the stadium, so the players can listen for the football and then locate the ball. And it's actually quite heavy as well, so the goalkeepers who are fully sighted, they have to be brave. I think you need to be very brave to be an outfield player, obviously, but to be a goalkeeper, you're going to have plenty of bruises, because it's quite a heavy football, and the players charging in and taking shots from very close range, and yeah, plenty of bruises, not only for the players but also for the keepers.
So the game only a few moments away. A lot of people critical of goalkeepers. They are the only sighted player in the team. However, what people don't quite realise sometimes is they are restricted to such a small area that the players are virtually on top of them most of the time before they pull the trigger. Equally, this ball is very heavy, and these players have defined and worked on how they take their shots. Very little backlift, and it's a very quick shot. You know, you watch the people like the likes of Lionel Messi, who can seem to pull the trigger without virtually breaking the stride. And that's how these guys have to train within the sport. So the next game coming up, it is indeed the final group games for these two teams. Russia, a point takes them through. Belgium, looking for a bit of pride, as we're going to throw over to the pitch. And you can see we have liftoff on day one here in the sky of Berlin, sighted on an old railway station. That indeed is the entrance to the railway station that still stands. The rest is now this beautiful venue for the 2017 IBSA Blind Football European Championships. Tomorrow morning we'll be on the balloon as we have a morning off, but today no such thing as a day off, as we throw over to our commentary team of Jonathan Bell and Peter Selby.
Thank you, Alan. It's certainly Russia looking to fly high here this morning in Berlin. As you said, 1 point takes them through to the semi-finals. A win, and they may top the group. However, of course, we'll have to wait for later on, and Spain taking on Turkey. What a massive game that will be. What a massive day today is here in the German capital. The sun is out. The teams too will be very soon as well, with Russia in their red shirts, red shorts and red socks, and Belgium in their chain strip or sky blue shirts, black shorts and sky blue socks. The sky blue shirts with horizontal lines around the lower chest area of black, yellow and red. So Belgium first out onto the field then. It's Adrien Bonnard, their goalkeeper, the number 12 with the black hairband, who leads them out. 1 win to their name so far in these championships, 2 defeats as well. They've already lost to the 2 favourites in this group, Turkey 7-0 and Spain 4-0 as well. They'll be hoping for a scoreline not quite as bad as those 2 here against Russia, of course, runners-up in 2015. As for the Russians, they're led out by their goalkeeper in his bright yellow strip, yellow shorts and black socks as well, Anton Yakovlev. Russians all in red, some of them bouncing on the spot, eager to go ahead of this one. The 2 officials in the centre as well, Christian Jung and Tamas Jesko, as both sets of players await the respective national anthems as they stand either side of the halfway line. And the first anthem we will hear will be that of Belgium, looking to add to their 3 points tally that they already have in Group B.
And now I'm so sorry, the national anthem of Belgium.
Well, if the anthems are anything to go by, these two sides definitely sounding as if they mean business in this one. They have to as well, particularly for Russia. They know how crucial this match is. The final game for them in Group B. 1 point will be good enough for them to go through to the semi-finals. 3 points, and they will definitely be there. And, of course, with the possibility as well of topping the group. This is how they line up today. Anton Yakovlev keeping his starting jersey in goal. Alexei Loktinov, a very impressive defender for the Russians, wears the captain's armband. And Denis Egorov, who currently has 5 goals to his name in these championships, starts with the number 7 jersey. As for Belgium, Alan spoke beforehand how it was about pride for them coming into this one. They'll be looking to finish in the top 8 of these championships, and they have Adrian Bonnard in goal, who was also the man to thank for keeping the scoreline to just 4 yesterday against Spain. Jean-Michel Bertin-Champs captains the side that has Kevin van der Sport, the big number 9, up front. Number 8, Alexander Vespers, also back for suspension. He was missing yesterday in the main game against Spain after 2 yellow cards picked up against Georgia. So, Pete, pretty simple for Russia, isn't it? 1 point and they are through, but they'll be looking to go out on a high and actually get all the 3 points and some goals to their name as well.
Yeah, I think it's vital, Jonathan, that the Belgians have number 8, Alexander Vespers, back in their side. He was badly missing from their defeat to Spain, disappointing defeat as well, and he will add the attacking input into the team that they were so dearly lacking in that match. I'm very disappointed by Belgium and their approach, because they needed to win the game against Spain to stand any chance of going through to the semi-finals. Now this game for them is just merely about pride, and for Russia, well, it's something different entirely. They need a point to qualify for the semi-finals. Obviously a win will mean that they'll be favourites to go through as group winners, with the big game later on in Group B between Turkey and Spain. Let's listen in to the coin toss.
You have the choice. I have blue or a red pepper. Blue. And it's red. You have the choice on the side. You want to stay here? Belgium has the ball. Okay, guys.
So it will be a kick-off for Belgium. There's referee Thomas Jeskel and also Christian Young, and it's nice to see Christian on the field. He's been entirely well over the last few days, so it's good to see him out there on the field in glorious sunshine, cloudless skies. Looking around here, we are dead centre in Berlin, on the sides, as Alan said, of an old railway station. And glorious conditions, if not a little bit of a cool breeze, but we can handle that. And the two teams now going back onto the field, and they'll be told to switch over. So it will be the all-in-red Russians shooting from right to left from our viewpoint here, just behind your main camera if you're watching this live stream, opposite the officials' tents, where when decisions are made, they'll go to the centre line and turn to that officials' tent and give their reasoning, and then team fouls and will be given out there, and we'll give you a rundown of the rules of blind football as we go through the first few minutes. And it will be the sky blue shirts of Belgium. I think we had a very unofficial poll between myself and Jonathan, and I think we both decided that the Belgium kit's the nicest on show here in these championships. Sky blue shirts with the Belgian flag across the chest, black shorts, and again sky blue or a shade of light blue socks. All in blue, the goalkeeper away to our left is Adrien Bonner, and then away to our right in a luminous green is Anton Yakovlev, the goalkeeper for Russia. So Russia, who were beaten in the final 2 years ago in Hereford by Turkey. They got their revenge on Turkey in their first game in Group B. A real tough opening. They beat Turkey, then drew with Spain. They took out a bit of frustration on Georgia by beating them 11 goals to 1. But for Belgium, they've been disappointing. A 7-0 reverse to Turkey, 4-0 loss to Spain. In between that, they've not 5 past the Georgians. And for them, it's all about pride. But a draw is what Russia need to get through to the semi-finals. And in the glorious sunshine in Berlin, day 6 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships is about to get underway. 4 games today. And then we reach the knockout stages and the business end of the tournament. So 20 minutes each way. The time does stop after every infringement. And here goes Alexander Vespes, who was missing in their previous game. Instantly goes down the left, using those kickboards that are at the side of the pitch. They're slightly angled away from the players, just to give a bit more cushion blow when they do run into them and use them for a bit of leverage. Good play by Igorov, who's got 5 goals already. Switches over to the left-hand side, deep inside the final third. You'll notice the pitch is actually split into thirds, those yellows dotted lines. So when I give the indication in the final third, it helps if you're visually impaired or if you are a blind supporter of one of the sides enjoying the commentary. Bundled in his way into the penalty area is Ivanov. He can't win the ball. It's going to be Vespes by his own corner. Tries a little turn. That's very dangerous inside his own third. It goes into the goalkeeping square, which is only 2 metres, and the goalkeeper cannot come out of that square. Fully sighted keeper who gives instructions to his defence, throws downfield, and that comes off the leg of a Russian defender. So it's going to be a corner to Belgium in these early stages on the left. Yes, the goalkeeper can't come out of that 2 metre square. If they do, and they save the ball, then it will be an automatic penalty to the opposition. So you'll notice that the clock has stopped. So 20 minutes can go as long as 40 minutes or even 50 minutes. There's the Belgium side limbering up, including Dorian Cornelius, who's made history by being the first female player to play in an international blind football championships. Hopefully she'll get on the field at some point today. I'd imagine she will. It's going to be another corner from the left. Best and Burton-Chum goes over. It's going to be Vespes, stops, now drives into the D, tries a Marseille roulette, goes to ground, and he's been pushed off the ball by the Russian defence. He gets it back though on the broken line on the right. Good play there by Vespes. He's tried a couple of tricks already, turns a couple of men, and then gets brought down, and a free kick in a dangerous position given by the referee Christian Young, and a really good play by Vespes. And this is the player that Belgium were missing in their previous game against Spain. He showed all the skills so far, one on his own byline, and also a few in the opposition D as well. So the first team foul given, and it will be against Russia. So a cross will go below Russia's name on the score at the top of your screen. They're allowed 5.5. Any more than 5 given will result in an 8-metre penalty kick. So the first goes to Russia, and it will be a free kick for Belgium.
Yeah, good start from Alexander Vespes, the number 8 for Belgium so far in this match, and he stands over the free kick as well with Kevin van der Spoort. We mentioned now Vespes was out suspended yesterday after 2 yellow cards picked up in the victory against Georgia, the only blot really on Belgium's copybook from that game. So free kick taker, van der Spoort, right corner of the area, shoots low, and it goes well wide of the far upright and out for a goalkeeper's ball. Yakovlev throws it down, and a few members of Alexander Vespes' family there currently on the front of the stand as well. They were watching the game alongside him yesterday when the Belgian defeat to Spain. Ivanov at the other end in a central position, goes towards the right side of the area, shoots, and it's tipped into the roof of the net by Bonya, who could not stop that due to the sheer pace of the ball. Evgeny Ivanov with a super strike for Russia, and one of many of the Russian key players managing to get on the scoreline there and break the deadlock in this one. Shifted it onto the right foot, right corner of the area. Shot came in. Bonya got low, expecting a shot into the bottom corner, and he was certainly fooled by that one, tipping it into the roof of the net. Nothing good could do. Perfect start for Russia. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, perfect start for Russia. It's just the start that they would have wanted. 1 attack and 1 goal. It's all been with Belgium, and another Marseille roulette there by Vespes, who almost goes down on the edge of the D once again. Throws a player to the ground. So it's going to be a free kick for Russia, and Vespes not happy at all, maybe because he's had the ball for pretty much 1 minute and 48 seconds, and yet finds him and his team 1 goal behind. Full of tricks, the very gangly number 8 for Belgium, but yeah, cracking shot by Ivanov. The goals actually have been extended in blind football. They used to be a lot smaller, 66 centimetres in width. They've been increased, and 33 centimetres in height, and used to the full effect there by Ivanov to open the scoring. Here comes Russia once again. Tikhonov, who possesses a really good shot from distance, dribbles into the final third and just runs out of play, and a corner to Russia on the right. Tikhonov wearing 3 and scored a wonderful goal in their previous match against Georgia from just inside the broken line from distance. Anyone on this Russian side can score. Normally teams have 1 or 2 specialist players. There goes Tikhonov showing his control. Igorov with 5 goals already coming in from the right. Just gets stopped by a combination of Salek and also Van der Sport, who just clears downfield. That's going to run out of play for a Russian goal kick. And the Russian goalkeeper throws it out. It has to bounce at least once inside his own half. And this one bounces just inside the halfway line. Ivanov controls well. Switches to the right to Igorov. 7 versus 7. Turns Bertenschom. Now turns again back to the broken line. More central. Probably going to square it over to the left where Ivanov is. No, he tries to drag back and just miscontrols the ball. It's inside the D and runs out of play. And it will be a corner to Russia on the left. And Russia very good in control of the ball. And already it looks like it's going to be very much inside the Belgium half in this first half, with the odd attack by Vespes.
Yeah, good start then from Russia so far. These two did meet in the group stages back in 2015 in Hereford. It was goalless that day, but this man has already made sure that won't be the case today. Ivanov trying to wriggle in towards the front post of the area. He gets thwarted though, cleared away. Tikhonov picking up the ball as the furthest man forward for Russia, goes towards the right side of the area, past Van der Sport, good chance. Van der Sport gets back with a good tackle there. The physical number 9 for Belgium just dribbles away with the ball towards the edge of his defensive zone, and Vespers will try and complete the clearance. Tikhonov not giving up though, concedes a free kick. I think he's surprised by that one. He thought he'd won the ball, but the referee thought he was a bit overzealous in the challenge, just on the edge of the Belgian defensive third, and indeed he just tripped Vespers before actually collecting the ball. So it will be a free kick for Belgium and a first or second team foul, should I say, for Russia in this game. Quite a fractious first 3 minutes, with 3 team fouls in total being conceded, 2 by Russia, 1 by Belgium. Egorov picks up the ball though, loose on the right hand side. He tries to go past his opposite number, Bertenschom, succeeds as well, gets to the byline, drags it back, now curving his way inside. Central position, left footed shot deflected towards the goal, but Van der Sport blocked it and manages to poke it away. Bertenschom stands on the ball on the edge of his own defensive third, and Belgium are struggling here to get it out of their defensive zone at the moment. Bertenschom picking up the instructions from his goalkeeper, just get it forward. He eventually does so, goes all the way through for Vespers, real chance, poor first touch, might get the second opportunity, goes in towards the goalkeeper, and a little collision between the two, nothing too major. However, Anton Yakovlev will comfortably get on proceedings there. The referee just making sure though that everything is okay, and Russia will have a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area. We talked about the game, Pete, about pride for Belgium. They finished 8th in 2015. They'll have another opportunity to build on that and finish 7th in the 7th-8 playoff, you'd imagine, especially if the result continues this way.
Yes, they're a much better side with Vespes. I've mentioned a few times already. A foul given again to the number 8 there, so it's going to be 2 team fouls for Belgium, 2 for Russia already after only 3 and a bit minutes. So we could have these 8-metre penalty kicks sometime in this first half. Here goes Tikhonov up to the broken line, stops, goes again down the right hand side, stops, so he's throwing the defenders off the trail. Once again turns, goes down the left hand side, finds Ivanov. He can shoot from there. No, he decides to turn around back to the broken line, and the tackle comes in by Salek, the oldest player in this championships. Back inside the centre circle, Ivanov over to the right again to Igorov, who likes to play down the right, but he can drift inside to the centre circle. Now he's going to stop and maybe start a mazy dribble forward. Of course, if you're running that pace towards a player, it's less time for the defender to react to the sound of the ball. Igorov down the right, stopping and starting, eventually just miscontrols and brought out by Vespes. Again, a one-man attack for Belgium over the halfway line. He beats a couple though, goes to ground, and he's been tripped by Tikhonov, and it will be a free kick to Russia. He's done very well there, Alexander Vespes, going over halfway himself and being brought to ground, and that could be another foul. And well, I think the odds on 8-metre penalty kicks in this first half are shortening by the minute. Brought down Alexander Vespes. He's one-man attack, and that means that now Belgium can bring some more players forward, including the likes of Van der Spoort, but he actually stays back on the side, outside his own D. I'm still surprised of that. So Bertinchon standing with Vespes. There's a three-man wall. Goalkeeper just making sure they're covering the near right post. Now the coach behind the goal can give instructions to the forwards exactly where they are and what to do. And that's the third team foul for Russia. He's also going to tap the post, so there he is tapping the right-hand post. Now moves over to the left, and then he'll shout instructions, and Vespes will either move the ball out of his feet and shoot, or maybe have a mazy dribble. Left-footed shot, low, good save by the goalkeeper. Good shot, low to the bottom right corner, and it was palmed away by the keeper, and it will be a Belgium corner.
Yeah, fantastic strike there from Vespers, low, zipping across the surface, and just getting down to his left was Yakovlev to meet it with a strong palm and divert the ball wide. So, Belgium still being pretty reserved in the way they're going about this game. Look, nothing to lose, really. Thought the shackles would be off, but they've only got two players up for this corner, and they're the two takers. Vespers trying to bundle his way in towards the area on the near side, the Belgian right. Good tackle from Ivanov, the goal scorer, though. Scurries over halfway, and he tries to just keep the ball alongside the kick ball. Slightly loses control of it. It's like a bit of a soap bar at the moment, and he can't keep it under his foot. Goes out of play, and it will be Belgium to restart things at the back with their goalkeeper, Adrien Bonnard. He just gently rolls it to the right-hand side, and Salek, midway inside his own defensive zone, right-hand side, slowly comes forward and then plays a tentative low ball over the halfway line that Egorov can comfortably claim by going down on one knee and then just stopping the ball and then running down the right. He's got a bit of room in front of him as well, because the Belgians are backtracking here, and that'll be communicated to him by the guy behind the goal, so he has a bit of a dart towards the right side of the penalty area. Eventually he's stopped, then Van der Spoort lets him know who's boss, and he falls to the floor, Egorov, as they go towards the halfway line. Tikhonov now on the scene. Van der Spoort always bussing around the field, not giving up any lost cause, as Tikhonov tries to set off another Russian attack. Plays it to the left and Ivanov. Good square ball towards the right-hand side. Comes off the kickboard. Egorov runs onto it, but Bertinchon, the Belgian captain, is there first. And he's just trying to scurry the ball towards the halfway line. Ivanov back defending. Russia have everyone back in their own half at the moment, as Bertinchon, for a moment, looked as if he was threatening an attack, but he's on his own up front, and Tikhonov comfortably deals with him. Nice run from him. Slow control towards the halfway line, just keeping it left and right. Slow touches, small touches, and now has it on the halfway line towards the far side. Egorov trying to get onto it, but Vespers reads it first. Left-hand side of the area, gets towards the byline, slides in to try and keep the ball in, but there's too much pace on it. Russian ball.
Yeah, throw out by the Russian keeper down the left, using that kickboard as you would do maybe in a sports hall to play the ball off. Lots of 1-2s and wall passes in blind football. Ivanov loses out to Salek, who does well and fails to chase the ball down. He knows there's a couple of Russian players back, and he's got no chance of maybe beating those two. Tikhonov down the right. He knows that man number 7, Igorov, will be there. Igorov drifts inside. He's still outside the broken line though. Plenty of players back for Belgium. They're going to have to throw a few of those further forward to help out Vespes in these attacks, especially if he goes off the field. 6 substitutions allowed, and they are rolling subs, so you can come on and then off again. Ivanov on the left by the corner controls. 2 men come over to try and win the ball back for Belgium, including Salek. He's still in that corner. Salek does ever so well. It's just going to roll out of play, and it will be a goal kick. So tremendous defending there by Said Salek, the Belgian number 3. Long throw downfield towards Vespes, who's going to have to do a lot of chasing and running today. Has the ball, central position. Lovely little Marseille roulette again. Shot from distance, blocked by Igorov right from the pinpoint place of where it was taken from. So Igorov then goes downfield past the broken line, left-hand side, stops, turns, back to the left, back to the right. Now he's tackled by that man Salek, who's been the mainstay of the defence in the first 7 minutes or so for Belgium. But Igorov easily dispossesses him and starts another wave of red attack. It's all red of Russia versus the sky blue shirts of Belgium. Russia from right to left. Tikhonov up to the edge of the D. Now a shot from the central position comes off Bertinchon and goes wide of the right-hand post, so it's going to be a corner to Russia, and it's going to be another substitution again for Russia. Coming onto the field will be number 8. That's with Johnny Sheliev. And going off is number 9, and that is Ivanov, the goal scorer so far. So Sheliev on the field of play, and he's definitely got a goal in him. He's already got 5 in the tournament, and he's an all-action player, number 8. Just going to the far side of the goalkeeping square. So it'll be interesting to see him against the likes of Vespes, similar kind of players in a way. Flipped corner from the right to the central position of the D. Struggling to clear their lines are Belgium, and it's going to be another corner this time from the left.
Very rare in blind football you actually get a corner that goes straight into the penalty area. One of the reasons being that you're so close to the kickboard, you don't want to belt the edge of that because that really hurt your feet. But it's usually negotiated, these corners, by a little tap that we're about to see now with 2 players stood over the ball. Sheliev just behind Egorov, and Egorov will come round in a wide arc towards a central position, then checks back towards the left, still got his back to goal, then turns back into a central position again, now on the right of centre. He's got 4 sky blue shirts swarming around him. Eventually Burtonschamp comes away with it. He's got his arms in front of him, awaiting the contact with the kickboard, gets it, comes in from the kickboard on the right towards the edge of the penalty area. Tikhonov comes across, gets his body in the way, and then Lokhtinov can sweep things up. In fact, he'll leave it for Egorov to start a maraudering run forward over the halfway line, drifting in and then out again on the outside, coming towards the right corner of the area. Lovely spin away from Vespers. Egorov still got the ball, currently joint second goal scorer in this tournament, and he almost got a 6th goal of the championships with a right-footed strike there midway inside the attacking zone, but it just zoomed past Bonnet's top left-hand corner. Substitution for Belgium. Their regular captain David Dorfu is coming onto the field now, and he replaces Alexander Vespers, who's had a very industrious first 8.5 minutes in this game for Belgium so far, but maybe a bit of tiredness coming in, like a match fitness after missing out yesterday against Spain. Maybe not used to the pace of these championships after missing out for a day or so. Salek has it on the right-hand side, midway inside his own defensive zone, tight to the kickboard, a low diagonal ball towards the far side. Burtonschamp trying to spin away from Egorov, and it's the 2 number 7s on the far side, just keeping close to each other. Burtonschamp cuts in from the edge of the centre circle, went for a shot, but he completely missed the ball. Comes towards the near side now. Sheliev now has it, coming towards the halfway line, left-hand side. Good close control from him. Sheliev, this is exactly what he likes to do, mounter forward. Now towards the right-hand side, goes for a shot on a bit of an angle. It squirms under the feet of Van der Spoor. The 2 Belgians miss the ball completely as it comes towards the near side. Close to the byline now is Sheliev, drifting back deeper towards the broken line. He trips under the challenge of Salek. No foul according to the referee. Burtonschamp can scamper down the right. Coming across is Lokhtinov, though. He knows, due to the calls from his goalkeeper, that the last touch came off Burtonschamp, so he could just shepherd the ball out of play for I thought it was going to be a Russian ball, that, but the referee has actually gone for a Belgian corner. So Lokhtinov will perhaps be regretting that he listened to his goalkeeper there. Of course, communication absolutely vital in this sport. You haven't got your own vision to be able to trust yourself. You completely have to trust those that are talking to you around you.
That's exactly right. You need trust in both your players to be shouting voy, and also the opposition and the coaches behind the goal, telling you exactly what to do. And they'll be telling Burtonschamp to shoot from there, and he gets another bite at the cherry and another corner. Substitution for Russia. Coming off is the number 7, Denis Igorov. And onto the field is Ivanov, the goal scorer. Yeah, voy is shouted at all times by the players. It, with translation, means it's I am here, and if you fail to call voy and there's a collision, then a foul will be given against you. And even if you're the player running with the ball and you collide with the player and you haven't shouted voy, well, you've committed that foul. It's for safety purposes. Shot by Van der Spoor is blocked by Sheliev, who goes up to halfway. These two will be shouting voy, and Burtonschamp wins the ball back for Belgium. It's good that Burtonschamp's now on and being more advanced, helping out the likes of Vespes when he comes back on. Those two really are the 2 main attackers for Belgium. Going down the right is Sheliev, using that right-hand kickboard into the final third. He's got options to his left in Ivanov, but he's going to go himself. Right-hand side of the D, goes to ground. Free kick for Russia on the edge of the D. And this will be Belgium's 3rd foul, so 3 each with still 10 minutes to go with this first half. So yes, voy will need to be called at all times. Like I said, collisions do happen in blind football, but sometimes they can't be helped. But if you haven't shouted voy, then it will be given against you. So yes, pushing is the foul And it's the third team foul, the first for the individual player. You can have 5 fouls called by an individual player. And if you do that, then you will be then removed from the field of play. You can be substituted, but it means that you won't take any more part in this one game. So 1-0 to Russia. Remember, they only need a point to qualify. Ivanov standing right on the edge of the goalkeeping square. It could be a shot from this free kick. I'd imagine they'll move it slightly to the left and then take a shot from a more central position. 3 men in the wall. So the 2 posts being tapped by the guide behind the goal. Move to a more central position. Really good opportunity. Can't get a shot on there. Shalayev, it goes wide. Just moved away from his left foot, and any clean strike at goal would have proved very problematic for the goalkeeper.
Absolutely. Shalayev there, just giving the Belgian goalkeeper Bonyard a signal of what he can do. He'll be hoping for a lot better, though, in future efforts towards goal. Meanwhile, Belgium have possession. Bertenschamp, who's not really had things go his own way in the last couple of games or so for Belgium, and Ivanov certainly has. Charged into the area, he's got 1 man to beat, and that's Van der Sport nutmegs him, but he just goes a little bit too far, clatters into Bonyard. No real collision there, but the referee gives a free kick nonetheless and a yellow card for Ivanov, and I suspect, Pete, that is because that the guy behind the goal will have told Ivanov he's encroaching into the area, which you're not allowed to do, but he still continues, still persevered. Of course, you could argue that he has every right to go for that ball in such a threatening area. However, it's also threatening towards the opposition goalkeeper as well, and the referee with a commonsensical view on that one there, and making sure that he gives the decision, and it will be a goal, free kick, should I say, at the back for Belgium. It's a 14th foul of the game for Russia. We're halfway through the first period. We've got 10 minutes to try and survive this first half for Russia without giving away a 5th, and that's the maximum you're allowed, and then a consequential 6th, 7th, perhaps an 18th foul in this first half. Particularly the way it's going, it's definitely a possibility. Bertenschamp, right corner of the area, laterally running towards the left now, just outside the box, goes towards the kickboard. He's got Shalayev at his back. It's 4 Russians against the 1 Belgian, and then a free kick has been given, the referee directing it in Russia's favour. I'm not too sure why that is there. We may have to see a replay of that one. They just seem to go into the wall, and I think it may have been holding the kickboard behind it and not wanting to let go. So that is the infringement from Bertenschamp. It was a lonely place there with him on his own against 4 Russians, and he looked for the kickboard for support, and he just held on to it, which you're not allowed to do, and it will be a free kick for Russia, who come forward with Tikhonov towards the halfway line. The Belgians more or less in the defensive zone at the moment, so Tikhonov with a lot of room to just then pick his pass towards the right-hand side. Good communication, could go right to the feet of Shalayev, cutting in from the right-hand side. Dortu, good challenge, coming up towards the halfway line now. He's more concerned about Shalayev than the ball, it has to be said, and he just backtracks now and lets Shalayev run towards him, because Shalayev motors forward towards the attacking zone, gets all the way to the box, past all the defenders. He got all the way to the byline there, just outside the goalkeeper's area, so Bonnier couldn't come out, and he struck it low, Shalayev, with the right foot against the foot of the post, and out it goes. The Belgians struggling though defensively in the second half yesterday against Spain. They really were on the ropes, and that seems to be the case this time around as well. Bertenschamp at the other end, tussling with the captain for Romania, Russia should I say, Loktinov, who just plays it back for Ivanov now in the central position just outside his own D, tries to shank it away, misses the ball completely, and he's now caught in a bit of a dark alleyway here because Bertenschamp has trapped him in that corner. Ivanov does well to just flick it down the line. It's a low trickling ball over the halfway line for Shalayev to run onto. Charges down that right-hand side. Soon he'll cut inside though, tries to now. Got 2 players in front of him, the big ones as well, aren't they? Dortu and Van der Voort, and it easily goes through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the goalkeeper just drops it outside of his goalkeeping square to Said Selek. Slowly tries to run out of his defence, and straight into a Russian attacker, and fortunately for Belgium, went straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Paul throughout, finds Shelley on the right, now drifts over to the left past the broken line. He's going to stop 3 defenders between him and the goal, goes to ground. Now this will be the 4th Belgian foul, and it's going to be 4 each for Russia and Belgium. So I mentioned these team fouls really racking up, and 1 each more for these two, and then any more will be those 8-metre kicks. That was hitting the post, that from Shalayev earlier. The goalkeeper, I think, a bit too confident the ball was going to go out of play there. So free kick to Russia, central position, just outside, inside the broken line. Substitution once again. Igorov coming on, Ivanov coming off. 7 and 9 for Russia, and Bertinchon is going to be replaced for the team from Belgium, and coming on is Alexander Vespes. I mentioned that it'd be nice if those two were on the field of play at the same time, but it seems that they're going to be the substitute for each other. And it's going to be a free kick to Russia, chance to double their lead. Remember, they only need a point to qualify for the semi-finals here in Berlin, and a wonderful morning it is. Bright sunshine at the IBSA Blind Football European Championships, day 6, game 1 of 4. And the group stages will be finalised today. Big game in Group B. After this, with Turkey playing Spain, and in Group A, well, Germany against England. England flying in Group A. Germany can qualify as well. 2 posts being tapped by the coach behind the goal for Russia. Chance to double their lead. Here goes Igorov down the right-hand side, right-footed shot straight at the goalkeeper, who saves but can't hold on to it. It's inside the D on the left. Van der Sport tries to clear, but instead of making connection with the ball, makes connection with Salek. Shot comes in wide of the right-hand post from Igorov once again, and Belgium breathe a sigh of relief.
Man gone down there for Belgium. It's David Dortu who's just raising his right arm and saying, "Stop the game, please, ref," and the referee duly obliges as well, and it's going to have to be substituted. Here is the Belgian number 4. Also, at the end of that, Van der Sport was rubbing the top of his head, so it's Belgium at the moment that are suffering from not only the Russian opposition, but their own teammates as they collide into each other. So David Dortu, short appearance for him here in the final group game for Belgium and Russia here in Group B, and he just limps off the field, aided by the 2 coaches as well for Belgium, and he's replaced by the number 2, Christoph Eiler. So a swift change that for Belgium, and an unfortunate one as well. David Dortu, their team captain usually. Of course, he didn't start today, so Bertinchon is the one with the armband. But it's his fellow strike partner Vespers who has possession down the left-hand side, comes towards the byline. He goes down, handles the ball, but the referee says no wrongdoing. Completely accidental, of course, from Vespers as he wriggles towards the front post. There's a wall of 3 or 4 Russians back there. One of them's Loktinov, who clashes heads with Vespers. A sickening collision between those two on the right corner of the Russian area. Vespers has gone down onto his knees. Loktinov, who is built like a double-decker bus, is holding the top of his head as well. That must have really hurt for him too. And it's going to be a substitution, another one, due to injury for Belgium. It's a bloody nose as well for Vespers, who's down at the moment. He's handed red because of the bloodshed, and it's going to be a change this for Belgium. But before that, on comes the Belgian physio, Javier Dampster, and Mathieu Coppe as well, and we do not like to see this. Vespers just laid down on the turf with blood coming from his nose, and an awful collision, Pete.
Yeah, an awful collision, and quite a common collision in blind football. Quite a tall player as well, Vespers, and yes, just as the Russian player was going up, coming down was Vespers, and it's an injury to the mouth, and obviously players do have gum shields on. But Vespers is being helped to his feet, and he looks in quite a bad way as well. Obviously, if you do get a collision from the top, then that mask can slip down on top of your nose, and that's where a lot of injuries do come from. But Vespers being helped off, and there will be a substitution here.
So Bertinchon immediately back onto the field of play. and Vespers. It'll be interesting to see what the prognosis of that injury is. I think it's coming from the nose, because he's leaning his head back at the moment as he sits on the bench. The blindfold is completely off now, and I don't think he will continue in this game. If he does, it certainly won't be without a bit of cotton wool stuck up the nostrils.
Well, yeah, no, and Alexander Vespers, he'll want to get back on, and he's by far the best player. He had to sit out the game previously for suspension, so he'll be eager to get back on, but yeah, question marks. There is a bit of time though, because there's still 7 minutes left of this first half. Russia leading by 1-0. And it's back to the game, and they're going off on the right-hand side. Stops, turns, goes back down the right, and straight into Aidez, who's the young defender for Belgium. Goes back in towards the halfway line, switches to the left. Shaliev, he's back to the Belgium defence, shields the ball away from them by the kickboard. Bit of a wrestling match here. Burton Sean, the captain, is on for Vespers, and going to ground is Said Selek, and he gets quickly to his feet and tries to hurry Tikhonov, who squares over to the right, and Igonov, who you know what he's going to do. He's going to go down that right, stop, and then come towards the centre. Shaliev is over on the left if he wants to square it, but Igonov at the moment wants to dribble himself by the kickboard, just runs out of play, and it will be a restart to Belgium. Of course, Belgium can't qualify for the semi-finals, only the top two, and they've been fairly disappointing, I think, in this tournament. They are a young team building for the future, but and they have a very difficult group with the likes of Russia, Turkey and Spain. Shaliev for Russia over the halfway line, over the broken line, stops by the D, shoots with his right foot, hits Van der Spoor, comes back out past that broken line to Igonov on the right in front of the officials' dugout, goes himself down the right, but there's he's back there. His task is to try and stick with the number 7, tries a back heel down the kickboard, doesn't work out. He's got another opportunity, just trying to lever the number 7. He's a lot taller and broader than the diminutive defender for Belgium, but he does well, clears out of his own half, up to Burton Sean, and there is a collision here between the two and maybe the kickboard as well, so play has stopped once again, and an injury for both the players for Belgium and Russia. So they're both going towards the ball. They know that the kickboard is there. I mentioned it's just slightly angled away from the players, and you can see here both of them collide with the kickboard and almost going over the top in the case of the Russian. And it's a good job those kickboards are angled away from the players, because if they were 90 degrees vertical, then I'm pretty sure he would have gone over the top. Here they are, so both going for the ball. They both know there's a player there as well, because they're shouting "Voy," and then they reach the kickboard, and look at that, nearly going over the top.
You can see the pain on the face of Jean-Michel Bertenchamp as well. Goodness knows how Loktinov felt too. He's certainly been battling away in this game so far, but he's still battling on, and he has the ball on the near side as well, but Bertenchamp comes out on top this time near the byline. Really tight angle, he just hits the shot and it fizzes across the face of goal towards the far side. Coming away now is Egorov. He's got 3 defenders to beat as he charges down the right-hand side, comes into an inside position, back on the outside again. No Russian players up with him really, so he comes laterally in field again, stops it centrally. He's just teasing Eiler at the moment, the Belgian defender, and Belgium have everybody inside their own defensive zone. Egorov just on the edge of it, left-hand side now. Again, toying with the defence, goes down the left side of the area, prods one towards the far corner. I'm not sure if he was trying to find a teammate there that he may have thought was on the far side. The Russian guard behind the goal certainly isn't too pleased with that end product from Vitaly Brudikin, the coach. Not too happy there with Egorov, but still the progress being made by Russia in this game so far. They only lead by the 1, but you feel it's only a matter of time before they probe and succeed in getting a second one. Shaliev just left of centre, coming over the halfway line, central position now. Jigs his way towards the right-hand side. He's got everyone in his wake, shoots low, but it's tame, wide. Didn't get the cleanest connection on the ball, and Bonyak can start from the back. Bolted out towards the left-hand side, and Eiler, just on the edge of his broken line, just angles the ball low towards the near side, diagonally searching for Bertenchamp, but he did not read that one, and it goes out of play for a Russian ball. Yakovlev throwing it down the right-hand side. Egorov just leaning down and collecting it off the inside of his shin. On the right-hand side, charges alongside the kickboard, checks back, and then goes the other way again. And he goes into the tackle of Van der Sport. That was a very heavy collision indeed. Egorov going down, getting back up straight away. However, one thing you have to say about these players is no matter what comes their way, and they don't know what's coming their way, that's the amazing thing about it, they still get up and continue despite some of the most extraordinary collisions that you only get to see really at fun fairs in Dodgem karts. And so far in this game, we've seen plenty of it. Egorov on the right-hand side, just coming over halfway, just prods the ball with the left foot diagonally towards the near side. He puts his hands on his hips, maybe feeling the ruins of that previous collision there and just wanting to release the ball. Chalet has made something of it, left-hand side, trying to turn away from Salek, succeeds in that, but Van der Sport prods his right foot in there to clear it towards the far side. Burton Chomp now, inside left channel, laterally coming towards the right-hand side, Tikhonov tackles in. We've not had too much fun Tikhonov in this game so far, but he's got the ball now, turns away from Salek, left-hand side, the two number 3 still battling away, and he manages to squirm his way in field. Tikhonov right side of the area now. He's forced out wide by Van der Sport. The last touch came off Tikhonov near the byline. He was frustrated with himself as he slaps his side running back towards his own zone. But it will be Bonyat to start play at the back for Belgium.
Yeah, just drops it outside of his D for Elders, and across comes Tikhonov from the back, closes him down, so Elders has to play down the left, straight through, out of play for a restart for Russia, and they will not mind this at all. 1 goal up, again only a draw. They need to qualify. They'll maybe get another couple of goals just to make it secure. And here goes Tikhonov trying to do that. Sheliev on the left, Tikhonov's on the right. Sheliev with a chance from the edge of the D, scuffs his shot and goes wide. They've not really had the clean strikes and goal that they're well known of doing, especially against Georgia. Here comes Alexander Vespers back on the field. Said he was a warrior and he'll want to get on the field. And he's being replaced again, Burton Chomp. I would like to see those two on the field. Maybe put a bit of pressure on Russia in their own half rather than just trying to defend. It's the problem I think they had against Spain. You need to try and get the goals to win the game, and to do that you might have to take a bit of a risk. Long throw downfield towards Vespers, goes straight out. And again, that will be Russian ball, starting with their goalkeeper. Long throw down the right, Tikhonov. He's always upfield, and they've got 3 men forward, Russia, something which Belgium need to try and copy. Tikhonov on the right, runs straight into Vespers, who's battling hard on the edge of his own broken line. Tikhonov comes off best, tries to drag back in a lovely back heel to the left where he knows Sheliev is standing. Sheliev tries to turn, and he will get it's a foul caused by the Russian number 8. We'll have to see whether this is going to go down as a team foul. The referee, Christian Young, will now come to the centre line, and he's going to give his decision, and this is going to be very interesting here. It's a foul. Looks like for holding on to the kickboard. That's going to be a personal foul. So a personal foul only by the player, and a timeout has been called by Belgium. So timeout caused by Belgium, so that goes down as a personal foul only, not a team foul for Russia. So it will still be 4 team fouls for Russia and 4 for Belgium.
Yeah, slight mistake on the graphic at the moment on the screen with that, so Russia managing to get away with it. And I have to say Russia have done well to make sure that they've only stayed on the 14 fouls for the remainder of this first period, because it was a 10-minute mark, Pete, when they achieved, or conceded rather than achieved, the 4th team foul, and they've managed to not go close to the 5, which is miraculous really, especially at the rate they were going at the time.
Yes, had about 14 fouls for quite a while, and yeah, I think both teams, they must have been told by their coaches, look, hang on, you're on 14 fouls, especially the Russians, because to be perfectly honest, from my point of view really, and I think you might agree with me, Jonathan, but please, if you don't, then let us know, but I think it's probably the only way Belgium are going to score in this game if they get maybe a penalty or 5 team fouls and then an 8-metre spot kick, because at the moment they're just not putting the pressure on in that final half, and I think they need to bring more forwards on and throw caution to the wind. It's their final game, and their fans here, and there's a number of them. You can see a number of flags around the stadium, and also 11-a-side Football Belgium shirts, and they'll be wanting them to throw caution to the wind, bring more forwards on, try and get forward. Yes, it might mean that you're more open at the back, but it's your final hurrah in these championships, and let's give the fans something to cheer about. Anyway, it's going to be a Belgium free kick for that personal foul only by Shalayev, who's just having his eyewear checked by the referees. All players will do. They've got gauzes on their eyes, and then they've got tape to keep the gauzes in place. That's just for added protection. Then the blindfold is put on, and I was wearing that blindfold yesterday in a conversation with Alan March, and it's very comfortable actually. Ball forward by Belgium, trying to find Vespers, who goes down in the D. Nothing given, but he's holding his face once again. We already know he's got problems there because of an earlier incident, and he gets to his feet. That's a good sight, and runs away back inside his own half. So it will be a Russian goal kick. And again, it will be with only 1 minute and 30 to go. Long throw down the right. That's a very good throw. He's right to the feet of Igonov. Turns his man well towards the corner. Can he stop it from going down to play? Yes, he can. He's inside the D. He's out-muscled by Van der Sport, who uses the kickboard. Now he's going to try and just clear for Belgium, probably down their left. Hooks it straight downfield, trying to find Vespers, who, if he can pick it up, he's got a one-on-one situation. Can't, and that runs out of play for another ball for Russia to start with.
Absolutely does. Van der Sport there a couple of moments ago, colliding with the kickboard, almost took it off of its foundations as Shalayev runs in from the left-hand side. Trying to get into central position. Vespers is the most likely to create anything for Belgium in a positive sense. Goes down the left-hand side, encroaches towards the byline, manages to get his gangly legs on towards the ball, but Tikhonov with him all the way, and Tikhonov is it's like a terrier, always there, always managing to win the tackles. This time, though, he concedes a foul, and that will be now the 15th foul of the game, because it's a direct free kick rather than an indirect free kick. Of course, a direct free kick is a team foul, an indirect free kick goes down as a personal foul. And a 5th X under the Russian name will be put onto the scoreboard now. So Russia not only leading with the goals, they're leading with the team fouls as well, the latter perhaps more unfavourable. And Belgium have a late opportunity at the back end of this first period to try and do some damage, and really, if they can lure in a foul, then they'll get an 8-metre penalty, which, as Pete said, I do have to concur, is probably their best route to goal at the moment. But they've got an opportunity on the left-hand side. It's around 3 yards away or so from the byline. Tight to left kick ball, Vespers. Marseille roulette towards the edge of the area. Good chance for a shot. Great tackle from Egorov, who just plants him towards the ground and manages to stab the ball over halfway. Van der Sport just prods the ball forward for Vespers. Turns on the left-hand side. Can he get control of the ball? Yes, he can. Momentarily got past Lochtinov. Lochtinov not giving that one up, though. Who's got the last touch on that one? The answer doesn't matter, because it stays in on the byline. Lochtinov maybe getting a nosebleed himself here. I don't think he's ever been this far forward. Goes on the right-hand side, shoots right-footed almost, with a wonderful solo goal there on the right-hand side. The defender, who never goes out over the halfway line, managed to get all the way towards the right side of the area, but prodded it wide of Adrian Bonnart's left-hand post. Ball forward by Belgium will be the last action of this first period. An interesting first half, but not the most action-packed, it has to be said, so far in this very compelling Group B setup. Russia, of course, coming into this game knowing that a point will be good enough for them to progress into the semi-finals of this competition. Belgium have to already settle for 4th place in this group, but aren't really going out on a massive high at this moment, it has to be said. They are just holding Russia to a 1-0 win, and the Russians, of course, well aware, 3 points, and they have a great possibility of topping the group. That Spain-Turkey game, of course, coming up later. That will be the finale in Group B. But for now, at half-time in Russia and Belgium's finale in these group stages, it's Russia 1, Belgium 0.
So a singular goal in this game, and it comes from Russia, and it comes from Ivanov. Let's take a look at the highlights of that first half, and Pete is going to talk about why he's disgruntled when he watches Belgium.
Yeah, here's Ivanov with the early goal. Good finish from the edge of the D, high past the goalkeeper, who might think he could have done a little bit better. It was quite straight at him, and he could have parried it over the top of the crossbar. But it was the only shot really by Russia that was had really good connection by their forwards, and you can see here it was high. Goal has gone low, straight at his face, and I think he'd want to maybe have that shot again. But my problem really is with Belgium, and that's their only forward, which is Alexander Vespers. You can see here just being a little bit naughty going in the goalkeeping square. Not too sure what the Russian keeper was trying to prove there, because obviously Vespers didn't know exactly where he was. It would have been given a shout by the coach behind the goal. Nice dribbling skills by ticking off one of the defenders, but you can see as we go through these highlights that the penalties below Russia and Belgium are totting up, and eventually it was Russia who had 5, and that was the only chance that Belgium would have had. But my real grumble with Belgium is that they don't throw caution to the wind. Vespers is now back from suspension, is their main attacking threat, and every time he's gone off for either injury or just to have a bit of a break, they brought on Bertinchon, another forward. For me, they both need to be on the field at the same time for them to have any chance of getting a goal. They're not going to qualify for the semi-finals. Why not throw a bit of caution to the wind? Yes, it would mean that you're more open at the back, but why not? There's plenty of Belgian fans here, and here's a collision. Here's a example of 2 players going for the ball and just momentarily forgetting about the kickboard on the side, and a real crunching blow. And it's good actually that both of them got up from that, because when it happened right in front of our commentary position, my first thought was these 2 will need to be substituted straight away. But they got up. They're made of holy things, these blind footballers.
Things we've learned this week at this tournament: don't have your cameramen too close to the boards, because that might happen. Right, let's take a look at the screen. These are the top goal scorers of the tournament. We can tell you this because it hasn't been affected in the first half. In fact, Sheliev got off on 5 apiece, Turnham and Williams on 5 apiece, but they're all going to have to go some if they're going to catch Hassan Satay. However, should results go the wrong way for Turkey today, Hassan Satay might not have another go, or too many more goes, sorry, to actually getting any more goals. So he'll have just 1 game as opposed to potentially 2 that the rest will have if they get knocked out in this. Don't forget, we do have the 9th, 7th and 5th place playoff games to come. Martin of Spain on 4 with Paul Iyobo. England limited Iyobo to just 2 shots in yesterday's game. Iyobo scored 4 times in his last outing before that. Brandon Coleman also with 4, along with Dan English and Adolfo Acosta as well. So plenty of goal scorers on that list who will be looking and hoping to improve their goal scoring tallies throughout the rest of this competition. Coming up though, next on our list of the 4 games at 1:30 this afternoon, it is indeed France against Italy. Win and you've got every chance of going through. Draw, very, very nervy times indeed, because it's no good to you. A draw is no good to either side. A victory for either side could put Germany under real pressure. As for England, they're safe. Will they finish first or second? They'd have to suffer quite a defeat to Germany to actually not win the group.
Yeah, that's true. If France win, then they will then go above Germany, and Germany will know what they need to do. Italy, if they win, well, they'll need to win by an awful lot. They'll need to win by at least 8 goals, and then hope that England beat Germany. Of course, if Italy win by 4, they'll have a level goal difference. And then Germany with that +4, of course, they can then suffer a heavy defeat to England. So there's all sorts of permutations that could happen in Group A. Next, we're an exciting finale to the group stages. But that's Group A. In Group B, the group that we're currently witnessing, with Russia 1 goal up against Belgium at half-time, it's a fight on possibly for second, and it's a fight between 2 of the favoured nations for this tournament. Russia, if they do get the 3 points, they will then be on 10, and they'll be safely through to the semi-finals. And then it's a fight between Spain and Turkey to see who goes through. Spain, a draw would be okay for them, but Turkey, the defending champions, they'll need a victory.
It's one of those, isn't it? You just can't understand Belgium's techniques and tactics here. Surely going out of this competition with a win is how you would want to end it. It doesn't make any sense any way around. And yet, attacking-wise, unless the idea was to hold Russia until half-time and see what happens, but they've got to come out with something.
It was the same tactic that they employed against Spain, and it didn't work at all, because in the first half they conceded 4 goals. But for Belgium, I completely agree. Why not go for the game? You've got Van der Sport, who I was talking to a number of supporters of other countries, and they were questioning the decision for him to be playing as a defender when normally he stands on the edge of the D and picks up the long throws. He's not the most mobile, to be honest, player, so it's a good position for him to be right on the edge of the D, even the edge of the goalkeeping square. You've got an attacker of Vespes, you've got an attacker in Bertenschom. Play them all further forward. Yes, you're going to leave yourself slightly more open at the back, but why not? You're out the tournament already, and again, there's plenty of supporters here from Belgium, and give them something to shout about. There's plenty of flags as well, so give them the chance to wave them.
No matter where you're watching, whether it be on YouTube or on Facebook, if you've got any questions for our commentators, then please do send them in. If you're new to the sport of blind football and this European Championships is your first glimpse at these wonderful athletes taking part in what is a fabulous sport, then maybe you've got some questions on how it all works. Peter and Jonathan are the people, the experts you need. We also have 2 German audio describers as well, so if you've got your questions in German as well, you can send them in to exactly the same place. Peter will explain just how.
Yeah, send them via social media. Follow us at Euro 2017 Berlin, and if you're going to ask us a question, then just use the hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball. Hashtag #TheSoundOfFootball. Put your question about the sport, the players, tell us where you're watching, tell us who you're supporting, and we'll do our best to answer every single one.
I've got one for you. Ooh. Turkey might go out today. If they do, who's winning this tournament?
For me, I would have said, and I've said before, that the winners will come from Group B. I might be changing my mind. The very impressive England team is swaying me towards England, especially if Turkey go out. If Turkey go out, then I would then say that England would be one of the favourites. Although the England manager thinks that it is the Russians who are the favourites, and it's probably one of the questions I'll be asking at full time if Russia do win this game, saying that you're the perceived favourites. How do you feel about that? I fancy England. I think they've got the goals to go far.
Well, Russia will be led back towards the pitch. Pete is being led back towards the commentary box. It is the second half of the final group game for these 2 teams. Russia lead by just 1-0 at half-time in this one. It's our first of 4 games here on day 6 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships. It's back over to our commentary team of Jonathan Bell and Peter Selby.
Thank you very much, Alan. Yeah, I do concur with a lot of the views shared there from Pete Selby and Alan March at half-time. The big thing for me is that Russia do have a couple of gears they can go into should they require that in this second period. Of course, doesn't really matter anymore about the points because it seems as if they'll get at least a point out of this one, but goal difference still could be absolutely crucial at the end of these championships. So close on the goal difference between Spain, Turkey and Russia before this game, and Russia will be wanting to separate themselves from the closing pack in Group B. And the red of Russia just on the left of the centre circle at the moment, in a circle, just having one last chinwag before we get underway for this second period. Belgium, well, they will definitely be in the 7th place playoff on Friday. The question is, can they go into that game with a bit of a high? There is still a potential of a shock in this one. They've not really gave us hope of that so far in this game. Couple on the bench, walking wounded at the moment, or sitting wounded, should I say. One of them leaning forward there, David Dortu, who went off with a bad injury in the first half. But at least they're in decent spirits, waving to the camera there ahead of what will be a fascinating final 20 minutes in glorious sunshine here in Berlin. Can we have glorious goals to beat as well? Russia will be kicking us off in the second period from left to right in all red, and Belgium in the sky blue shirts, matching the sky at the top of your screen there with the black shorts and the sky blue socks as well. Glorious scenery for a game of football on a Wednesday morning, and the referee is ready for us to get underway with this second period now. So Russia kicking from left to right, taking off, will take the ball laterally towards the right-hand side. So right-footed ball right towards the right side of the box. Egorov with his back to goal, trying to control it by leaning down on one knee and picking it up with the other one. Failed to do so, however, and it rolled behind. Bonyar throws the ball down the left-hand side. And Vespers, the only one again in the Russian half, turns away from Egorov, is felled by him, but no foul from the official. Christian Jung and Tamas Yasko, the two officials on the pitch in the green shirts, black shorts and black socks. Vespers, the ball goes behind into the Belgium half now, midway on the right-hand side, and Salek tentatively comes towards the ball, turns 50 on New Year's Day. Veteran of the sport, if ever there was one. As Pete mentioned so accurately in the first half, the oldest player at these championships. Plays the ball towards the near side, the Russian right. Tikhonov has possession. Always very upright, Tikhonov, when he has the ball. He's certainly confident that he can dribble his way through. It's an amazing stride again from him. From the right-hand side, he's got it now. Nice back heel for Regorov, who wasn't quite receptive to the ball, frustratingly for Russia, who forced back into their own half, but under no pressure at all, with Belgium camped inside the defensive zone. A flick ball diagonally towards the left-hand side. Shalayev, really good close control from him again. A definitely underrated player in these tournaments is Avengii Shalayev, who wins a corner on the Russian left, and it'll be Shalayev who will roll the ball forward for Tikhonov. And Tikhonov, the youngster, with a bit of strapping on his left hand, will carry the ball towards the area. If he opts against that, he can always flick it into the box for Egorov. He goes for the former, in fact back heels it then for Shalayev, then squares it across the face, missed by Isla. Egorov just ran away from the ball, didn't quite get the accurate call from the guard behind the goal. He picks up possession at the second attempt though, much further back though than he wants to be, on the edge of the centre circle, central position, goes down the left hand side. He's got Shalayev behind him should he want him, but Egorov opts to go laterally inside instead. Now back towards the right, shot comes in low, it's a poor angle for him to try and muster one towards the net, and it's comfortably behind Bonnier's left-hand post. Bonnier in all blue with the grey hairband, rolls it out, untroubled by that effort there from Egorov, who had three players just stood in single file in front of him, and it was a comfortable shot wide. Another stoppage, and Vespers now surprised. He's the man down again, and he's trying to continue in this game, but I think his nose is giving him some real problems, and I'm not sure if it's bleeding again here because he's got his head back, which implies to me that he's trying to stop the flow of blood going downwards, not only onto the turf, but onto that glorious Belgium shirt that Pete talked about. You don't want to be ruining that as he goes onto the far side, and he will be checked by the medic, who is Eric Javier Dempster, should I say. And it looks as if it may be once again time up for Vespers, and this time for the final time. He goes off and will be replaced by the number 7, Jean-Michel Bertenchamp. That substitution has been made quite a few times in this game so far. I think that'll be the final time it occurs, and it looks as if there, when the medic is just putting that tissue up towards either the upper mouth of Vespers or it's the nose. Hopefully we'll get confirmation on pitch side as to what the actual prognosis of that is. So restart at the back then for Yakovlev to just bowl the ball forward towards the left channel. Shalayev goes down under the challenge of Salek, and it will be a free kick for Russia midway inside the offensive zone, left-hand side, and that will be a first team foul of the second half for Belgium, conceded by the big number 3, Saeed Salek. So Russia with a set-piece opportunity. If you're wondering why there are green lines on the pitch, it's basically because this is usually an AstroTurf facility for an 11-a-side, and the lines have just been rubbed out by green paint. So that is the green paint you can see on the screen at the moment, and that's where the free kick will be taken here, midway between the broken line and the edge of the penalty area, around 8 metres out, and it's Tikhonov stood over the ball with Shalayev from the Russian left.
Yeah, free kick to Russia on that left, as Jonathan said. The one foul already for Belgium in this first half, so the coach behind the goal just tapping the posts, and the referee just telling the two players on the edge of the goalkeeping square. The goalkeeper can't come out of that square, just to behave and just separate from each other. So now the coach finishing tapping the right-hand post. Free kick by Shalayev. More central, shoots right-footed wide of that right-hand post, and it will be a restart for Belgium. Good effort though by Shalayev, caught it well. And he was aiming for that post, and the coach was really being quite careful in tapping that post, so kind of kept the game away in a way. And you can see it just whistles past the right hand upright, ball's at the other end of the field through to the keeper. Here's that shot by Shalayev. The goalkeeper knew that it was going wide. And coming back on is Alexander Vespes. Well, he's been off the field a couple of occasions with blood injuries to his face, and well, he is a warrior, the number 8 for Belgium. Back onto the field of play. Of course, Belgium can't qualify for the latter stages. Russia only the draw, but well, they want to go through with more than just the 1 goal today. They want this game to be done and dusted. Off goes Syed Salak, and walking quite gingerly there, so I think his game and tournament is over. Long throw downfield into the D. Chance for Van der Spoort to try and clear, and trying to come across is Iganov. Can't win it for Russia. Back inside their own half. Tikhonov, who likes to venture forward, but hasn't really got forward in this game. He's scored a number of goals and not looking like he's doing so at the moment. And he comes across halfway inside the centre circle. Although he's now into the final third. There is a player with him on the left, but he looks like he's going to do it himself in a central position. Edge of the D, chance for a right-footed shot from an acute angle. Hits the goalkeeper's legs and goes out for a corner. One of those mazy dribbles by Andrei Tikhonov. He scored a couple of great goals so far in this tournament, and appeared to be another one on the cards, but an acute angle shot. Goalkeeper done well, went down on his one knee, and then it bounces off the leg along the floor. Free corner to Russia. On the right, Iganov, if he can pick this up on the edge of the D, it's going to be very interesting indeed. He's being pushed over to the left-hand side by Ardez. He's got Shalayev with him. Shalayev and Ardez on the left-hand side. Now it's Iganov, back to Shalayev. Goes past Ardez. Now comes the warrior. That is Alexander Vespes. Over halfway, he's the main attacker. Normally it's just one-man attacks. Marseille Roulette in the centre circle up to the broken line. Battling through the defence, goes down, nothing given. And now here comes another attack, although the referee has just paused because there is one of the players' blindfolds has just come off. And so it will be with the Russians inside their own half. And the ball is dropped, and they will continue. Through Tikhonov, out wide on the right is Iganov inside the centre circle, stops. Now goes himself down the right. He's got 4 Belgian players with him, so he switches to the left, and that's going to be picked up by Bertenschamp. And finally, Bertenschamp and Vespes are on the field at the same time. Knocks it down the right, kickboard, and can't pick that up and runs out of play. And there's a collision there between Bertenschamp and Shalayev. And there's a real cry out across the court by Bertenschamp, and I think it's just a blow to the side of the head, and I think he's going to be absolutely fine to continue. The captain of Belgium. 3 minutes 42 seconds gone in this second half. Still Russia leading by that 1-0. But here comes the youngster Christophe Ardez down the left-hand side, approaching the edge of the D. Right-footed shot goes wider than their post. A good attack in there by the usual defender for Belgium.
Now down the left-hand side, Shalayev bumps into Bertenschamp again. The referee said boy was called, so nothing wrong with that. Shalayev wormed his way laterally into the area from the left-hand side. He's out-muscled in the end and out-fought by the Belgian defence. Vespers somewhat outnumbered now by the Russian defenders at the other end. Loktinov going across there, and once again proving exactly why Russia are so stern as a defensive outfit. They've only conceded 2 goals in these championships so far. Loktinov going down the left-hand side, approaches the halfway line before playing it to his left, and Shalayev faced up by Bertenschamp, cuts inside of him, shot with the right foot, blocked by Eiler, maybe with the arm, but it was accidental nonetheless. Eiler always likes to have his arms out in front of him just to make sure he knows exactly whereabouts everyone is in relation to him. Egorov on the left-hand side, just on the halfway line, just flips the ball forward. It's a testing ball for the defenders, who managed to answer the question posed there by Egorov with flying colours as the ball goes behind for a Belgian ball, and Bonnard will have. Referee's just blown his whistle momentarily. I think he's just advising the goalkeeper that he's only allowed to talk to his defenders inside his defensive zone rather than anyone else further up the pitch. So Bonnard will throw the ball forward down the centre towards Tikhonov, who misreads it. It goes all the way through for Vespers, just on the 8-metre penalty spot. He turns towards the right-hand side, and there's always a Russian in front of him. And Egorov now comes down the right-hand side and away with it for Russia. Still have been pretty much untroubled by Belgium in this second period, just like the first. Egorov going down the left-hand side of the area, now gets tripped on the edge of the area by Bertenschamp, who is furious with the referee for giving that decision. That is pretty clear, but what was also pretty clear, Pete, is that was a free kick.
Yes, it was a free kick given by Christian Young, and, well, he's just having a stern talking to Bertenschamp. Obviously, dissent is not stood for in any form of football, and the explanation just being given to the sideline, tripping, and it will be the second team foul for Belgium, and a very dangerous position here for Belgium, because Russia, with this free kick, it's 8 metres from goal, but from its position on the left side of centre, it means that it can be easily shifted to the right. There's a number here of players with a right-footed shot. You've got the likes of Erganov, who's standing over the ball. You've got number 3, Tikhonov, as well. And if they get a clean shot from between 6 and 8 yards out, well, the goalkeeper will be struggling. And remember, the goals have been increased in size, in width and height. 2 posts being tapped. That's the near post. 3 men in a wall, and then you've got Alexander Vespers just off centre. So he looks like he might be the runner. Now, once again, very deliberate tapping of the far post, so I'd imagine this is just going to be switched to the centre, and then a right-footed shot from the centre straight to the keeper, tipped over. A cracking free kick routine and a good save by the keeper. He did better with this one. It was a very similar effort to the goal in the first half, but this time the goalkeeper got more purchase on the ball, and instead of going into the roof of the net, he tips it over. A good free kick routine, quite an obvious one as well, but a really good shot, and the keeper just manages to tip over with his fingertips. Still went slightly too low, so if the ball was a little bit higher, I think he would have been struggling. Good effort on goal and some good football all around. Corner to Russia on the right. 5 minutes gone in this second half. They lead by them early goal in the first half. Poor corner routine. There goes Vespers down the left, and he's brought down. So it'll be a Belgian free kick. Good tackling there by Alexander Vespers, and he's been off the field 3 times with a bloody nose and nosebleeds and all sorts of things, and yet he's still on, and not just attacking, he's back defending corners and winning the ball and winning free kicks, and that'll go down as a team foul as well for Russia, although the officials are just making sure which player it is, and he's just signifying actually to the player, Tikhonov, number 3, that's his 4th personal foul. So he's only got 1 more left, and if he has that 5th one, then he will be off the field and he won't be able to return. It's number 3, Tikhonov. So first team foul for Russia, but yeah, the 4th for him. So he's got 1 left in his locker, although it will be an early bath if he causes 1 more. Of course, they can substitute him. It just means he can't play. Substitute is taking place for Russia. Number 8, Shalayev, going off, and on comes number 9, the goal scorer, Ivanov. Amongst all this, we've still got this free kick for Belgium, actually, inside their own half, just to the left of their D. Iders just receives the ball, pokes it forward, and finds the man on 4 personal fouls, Tikhonov, inside the centre circle, driving down the centre, past the broken line, stops on the edge of the D, goes to the left, now switches to the right again, dragged back to the left, more central position. Tikhonov, which one's he going to shoot? Left-footed or right-footed? Across comes Vespers and tackles him, and I think Tikhonov was just short of ideas then. Maybe he was given the wrong call from behind the goal. There's plenty of players between himself and the net. That was probably the call. Look, you need to try and beat these players like Van der Spoor and also Bertenschamp. Here goes Igoranov, who's a bit more dynamic in his attacks down the left-hand side. There's the Italian team. They're warming up for the next game, a crucial game against France. Igoranov down the left-hand side, shot left-footed into the back of the net. What a goal for Russia. It's the 2nd goal, and it could seal their place at the top of Group B. They're going through to the semi-finals. A cracking goal by their star striker, number 7, Denis Igorov, down the left. And a left-footed shot, usually is a right-footer, but a cracking left-footed effort into the far corner, past the diving Bonnet in goal for Belgium, and Russia double their lead, and they're going through to the semis.
Super stuff from Denis Igorov, goal number 6 of these championships. It was only a matter of time, wasn't it, before he managed to finally get one into the back of the Belgian net. Belgium restarting play with Vespers. And immediately Burtonchamp just runs back into his own half and leads Vespers to it. Vespers trying to run down the left-hand side, against surrounded by red, and it's backheeled nicely by Agorov towards the far side and into the space. One of the Russians are going to have to get there. The coach just instructing Tikhonov to be the man to do it. He comes over halfway on the left-hand side, just slowly dribbles his way in field, gets to the edge of the centre circle, then goes back out towards the left again. The favoured route for the number 3. Who it's very difficult to tell which foot is his strongest, because he likes to go down the left, but he's capable with either foot. Van der Sport now almost collided into Vespers there, which really would have been the knockout blow for the number 8. But Van der Sport still has possession on the right-hand side, just moving the ball nicely but slowly. It has to be sent under his foot before aiming a diagonal ball with the left foot centrally down towards the Russian defence. Vespers can't get on the end of it, and Russia come away with the ball. Ivanov, left-hand side, getting towards the attacking zone. He's battling with Burtonchamp in his back. Ivanov not giving this one up. And he tries to nutmeg Burtonchamp, manages to do so, but then trips him up as he tried getting past him there. Burtonchamp not giving that one up at all, and it should be a second Russian team foul of this second half. The Russians leading by 2 goals to 0, as Pete said. It looks all good for them going towards these semi-finals that will be taking place tomorrow in the afternoon. And they'll just have to wait whether they'll be in first or second in this group. That will be determined later on today, 7:30 kickoff local time, as Spain take on Turkey. And that should be an absolute cracker. Substitution now for Belgium, Syed Salek. Well, Pete, you thought that might be not just his game over, his tournament over. He's coming back for more. He's 50 years old almost. He's not letting this one phase him. No. And Alexander Vespers will be again leaving the field.
Yeah, he's a warrior, all right, and he comes on for another one, Vespers, and yeah, you have to give credit to the Belgium. I've been critical of their tactics and their substitutions, but you know, they are certainly very hardy individuals. Poor free kick though, downfield and out for a goal kick for Russia. Yeah, I just think they could have thrown a bit more caution to the wind. Long throw down the right to Igonov, who scored that fantastic second goal for Russia. He goes Tikhonov, the man on 4 personal fouls, number 3 for Russia. Possesses a really good right foot. Lovely pass in here, down the right, and then switch field over to the left where Shalayev is plying his trade. Belgium struggling to clear their lines at the moment, now being brought up by Burtonchamp on a mazy dribble, downfield, into the centre circle, collides with Igorov. Nothing given, says the referee. Both players shouted voice, so it's absolutely fine. Collisions do happen in blind football, and if both players inadvertently collide, both shouting voy, then referee can wave play on to the casual observer. It might seem a foul, but no, if the referee decides it's not, then they would have heard the shout of voy. There's Vespers on the bench, and you can see the gauze is over his eyes as the ball goes downfield out of play for a goal kick to Russia once again. Yeah, the gauze is on the eyes just to protect them, then they've got tape on top, then they've got the blindfold. Quite a lot of kit used here in blind football. Ivanov down the left, approaching the D, and he's going to get a free kick here. He was just out muzzled, and again, the referees will come to the near side and give their explanation, possibly a reason. It could have been a non-voy shouted here, and if so, a prime example of that rule coming into fruition in this game. So Christian Young, the referee, comes to the halfway line. This will be the 3rd team foul for Belgium. Yes, once again, no voy was called. So when the Russian winger Ivanov went into that crowd of 3 Belgian players, he collided with all 3. One of them, or maybe a few of them, did not shout voy. So that collision could have been avoided, and hence the reason a free kick has been given. Now, a similar position to a free kick from earlier, where it was just moved to the centre and then a shot with a right foot. This one's further over on the left, so they might have to come across a bit more, and then the wall might shift across as well. So slightly more difficult for Russia, but they certainly possess the talent to do so. Poorly taken routine, but Igonov from that side, straight through the wall. Good save by the goalkeeper. It came straight through the wall, which parted, and it went towards the bottom corner and just kicks it over the kickboard. A really good save by the keeper. Out of the blue, this shot would have come from. He would have expected it to move over towards the centre, but it was a snapshot through the wall which broke, and then quickly adjusted his feet and kicks it over the kickboard for a restart for Russia on the left. Again, very similar to the position where the free kick was taken. Igonov this time is just standing over to a more central position just outside of the D, and they'll possibly try and find him. Stopped by Ivanov. Now a chance for a shot straight at the goalkeeper. He got his angles right and comfortably saves.
Just a word on the Belgian wall there, and walls in you know, overall in this tournament. You think of a game that you play, if you're watching this game and you are sighted, you play another side game, you don't want to get in that wall. This ball is a very hard ball, and you can't see it coming towards you. And goodness knows how the players have the sort of bravery to be in there, not phased at all by the balls flying towards them. And Loktinov, you don't want him flying towards you either, and he's got the ball on the left-hand side. Salek's in his back, midway inside the attacking zone, plays the ball backwards towards Tikhonov. There is a Belgian man down on the near side who is Bertenschamp, and it's not the first time that he's been down on the ground, and he's holding the back of his right leg here. I did not see what the collision was there, Pete, I have to be honest. We may see a replay of it, but it's now surprising, this game in particular, that Belgian players are getting injured, because it's been quite a common occurrence throughout the first 28.5 minutes.
Yeah, and they've got to play 4 games in a short period of time. This is day 6, so they could have had maybe a couple of days off in between a few games, but many of the teams are playing 4 in 4, for example, or maybe 4 in 5 days, and that's quite a lot. So yeah, the number of teams with injuries, and especially the game between Georgia and Romania later on this week, that's going to be a battle of 2 teams who are full of bruises and injuries. Here goes Ivanov down the left into the D, right-footed shot, good save at the near post by the goalkeeper once again. Really good reactions with his feet, although the referee has given a yellow card, and it's going to be a penalty to Russia. The yellow card has been given to number 9 Van der Sport. Good save anyway by the keeper, but it was a foul by Van der Sport. Again, we'll hopefully be able to see a replay of that. The referee comes to the halfway line, gives his reasons. It's a foul by number 9. Yellow card for Kevin Van der Sport. 4th team foul now for Belgium. So with 11 minutes remaining of this second half, you are allowed 5. Any more than that and it will be an 8-metre penalty kick. As it is, it's going to be a 6-metre penalty kick from the edge of the D for that foul inside the D. Still not entirely sure, because his back is to us, the referee, when he gives his decision, whether it was because of Voy not called and then Van der Sport made contact. I think he might have just pulled him back slightly. And again, once we get a replay, we'll be able to bring it to you. In the meantime, the more important thing of the actual penalty itself, standing over the ball is Tikhonov. Shoots, and it's wide. Wide by Tikhonov, the number 3, who has got 4 personal fouls to his name. Caught it well, throw downfield, goes straight out for a Russian restart, but disappointing for Russian fans. Tikhonov with a glorious chance to score his first of the game.
Absolutely there, as you say. Pete caught it well, absolute poor accuracy. Egorov down the left-hand side, can he put it right? Goes into the box, Van der Sport this time legally getting the ball away. It's on the left corner, and Egorov has got an opportunity here. He's got his back towards the goal, then that curves round in a wide arc. In a central position, shot comes in, it's low. It's blocked by Vespers. Eiler, who clears it away with a loud roar there. I don't know if he's saying leave to Bertenschamp, or he's just letting out a rallying cry to his teammates. Egorov down the right-hand side again. It's Eiler getting there, and the ball will go down the left-hand side. So it's Eiler with it, and coming down the left channel. Very tight tussle on the near side. 2-on-1 in Russia's favour, which has usually been the case for it's been in their own half, since though Belgium leave everyone else in their own zone. Tikhonov on the edge of the centre circle, gets past Bertenschamp just about, glides into Eiler as they come towards the right-hand side, near the byline now. The ball's not yet gone out. Eiler clears away momentarily, but Egorov can now charge forward. Very leggy runner, and then he goes down on the challenge of Bertenschamp. The referee says no free kick this time around, despite the fact there was a similar challenge earlier from Bertenschamp, and then Egorov charges back into the Belgian captain. The referee's got the yellow card in hand to show towards the goal scorer, the second Russian goal. So Russia received their second yellow card of the game. Ivanov's got one, who also scored for Russia. and now Egerov's got one.
Yeah, a little bit of ill-discipline by number 7, Denis Igorov. Picks up a yellow. So Igorov, with that yellow card, gives away a free kick. Now this is the penalty. Goes wide by Tikhonov, caught it well, and here's the actual incident itself. Now it was a foul by number 9, Van der Sport, and there really that would be for a no void called, because it wasn't really a body check, but he was in the way of the player inside the D at the point of impact. He didn't shout void, and he's been taken off actually, Van der Sport, and coming on is Alexander Vespers. So yeah, no void shouted there. You need to be shouting void all the time to let players know where you are, and if a player runs into you, then it will be your fault if you're not shouted, and if it's in the area, then obviously it will be a penalty. So a good example there of that rule being implemented by these top referees that we have at these championships. Bertinchon, ball forward to try and find Vespers, who slides in, can't knock it towards goal, doesn't make contact, and it's another restart for Russia. Again, when they throw the ball out, it has to bounce inside their own half. It does once, and then Tikhonov plays it over to Ivanov on the left, inside his own half. Now starts his slalom run down the left, stops before the broken line, now starts again, goes straight through Salek, who does well just to hold him off, and Belgium anywhere will do, just clear their lines downfield, down the left, and no one's really chasing this. It's back with the Russian number 4, Loktinov, who spends most of his game on the edge of his own D, marshalling the back line. Throw out by the keeper down the left, and again, there's no one forward for Belgium. Ivanov down the left, stops before the broken line. Now he drifts over to the right-hand side. Chance for a right-footed shot, comes off the leg of a Belgian player, and again it's going to be Bertinchon who just inadvertently chests it out for a corner.
Yeah, Bertinchon must feel like he's been chasing shadows all game in this match, because he hasn't quite got the rub of the green. Always seems to be chasing the Russians rather than getting them to chase him at the other end of the field, which must be frustration for the Belgian skipper. Meanwhile, a corner for Russia. Egerov goes into penalty area, laterally running left for a shot, squirmed towards the goalkeeper, got down to his right-hand side there, Bernard. It was a fizzing ball towards that bottom corner. He just got a right palm on it and pushed it behind the right-hand upright. Again, amazing run from Egerov, upright, just keeping the ball close to his feet. And then the left-footed strike took a deflection off Bertinchon once again. That would have really capped off a bad day if he'd have deflected a ball into the back of his own net. But Bonnet spares his blushes. Ivanov on the left-hand side, backheels it nicely for Egerov, gets the Belgians chasing once again. Egerov trying to dart in towards the front of the penalty area on the far side. Vespers comes across, wins the ball fairly, now charges over halfway, but every time he gets past one Russian, there's another one there. Loktinov uncharacteristically fails to clear. Vespers had almost got a striker on the left corner of the area, stood on the ball with the right foot as he went to swing it with the left, and now Russia go down the other end. Tikhonov down the centre, gets past a couple of Belgian shirts who are beginning to tackle each other at the back there to stop the ball going out. It does eventually off Tikhonov last as it rebounded off the kickball towards him. He couldn't control, and it's a Belgian ball. There are 2 balls on the pitch, so delay to the restart of play, and it gives us a chance for Vespers to, well, to see Vespers completely fluff his lines.
Yeah, Vespers downfield, waiting for his long throw out. Straight downfield, but he's got 4 red shirts with him, and it is number 4, Lektinov, who intercepts for Russia. Down the right they go once again. Tikhonov to Igorov down the right, stops. In front of him is Vespers. Now he goes again down the right, and like I said, Russia only need this point, so this is absolutely fine for them. They've got Belgium with 4 team fouls against them, 2 goals behind, struggling to clear from their own D. Christoph Eider now just pokes it down the left, does find Alexander Vespers inside the Russian half, goes on a mazy dribble towards the D and shoots towards the near post. It comes back out towards Vespers, who's going to try and win it back, but Russia can just clear. Referee puts a whistle to his face, and nothing given. Here comes Loktinov over halfway inside the centre circle. He's on his own actually. He's usually a defender, so he realises he's just over halfway and stops and says, hang on, this is not where I'm usually are. I'm going to play it across to Igorov, who switches over to the left for Ivanov, but back is Syed Salek. Side select using his power to try and turn his man, does so inside his own third, now up to halfway, passes down the left. Unfortunately for him, it was Vespers who was on the right. So it's going to be another attack for Russia with 7 minutes remaining of their final games in Group B. And Russia will be going through to the semi-finals and possibly going through as league winners as well. Good tackle there by Vespers on Tikhonov. Vespers still comes over halfway. Lovely little Marseille roulette approaching the D, goes to ground in flamboyant fashion. Nothing given by the referees. They're not going to fall for that one, but lovely play by the number 8 from Belgium.
Yeah, Vespers has looked like the only one for Belgium who is likely to break their duck in this game. Fantastic bit of skill to get in between two red shirts on the edge of the centre circle, gets towards the area and locks it off, equal to the challenge of Vespers. And it will be a corner on the left as France now make their way around half an hour later than Italy to warm up behind the scoreboard end of this fantastic facility. Of course, Group A concluding today, just like Group B. Group A consisting of England and Italy, France, Germany, and Romania as well. Romania have already completed their fixtures. Belgium and Russia completing theirs now. The ball's on the near side, near the byline. Bertenchamp has got Egorov on his back, the two number 7s, just trying to, one of them nudged the ball away from the kickboard. Egorov, the one coming out on top, and a lovely turn away from Bertenchamp. What a game Egorov's having. Can he get a second goal in this match? Down the right-hand side, cuts onto his left, on the broken line, gets into a central position, begins to slightly tackle himself, but he's still got control of the ball. Maisie run again from him, past two Belgians. Isla not giving it up, though, as he retrieves possession on the edge of his own area and clears it down the centre. Bertenchamp trying to run down the middle of the pitch, goes down as he runs into the back of Tikhonov. Both players were shouting voice, so there is no problem there. And it goes out for a Russian ball. Yakolev will throw it from the back over his head with the right hand towards the left-hand side. Good control from Ivanov. Looking very comfortable on the ball is the experienced Russian number 9. Tries to drag it onto the right foot, then goes back out onto the left side of the area. Pokes it with the right foot towards the goal. He scored a goal like that yesterday against Georgia. This time Bonat faring better than the Georgian stopper 24 hours ago. Bertenchamp then clears it towards the far side, the right. Vespers gets a fortunate bounce off the kickball, but locks it off so strong. And for me, the best defender at this tournament so far, locked it off. Tussling away with Vespers. Trust Vespers to get past locked it off after I say that, but it does go out in the end for a Russian ball.
Yeah, Russian ball and Russia in command here. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Long throw downfield. Finds Tikhonov inside the centre circle. Tikhonov turns well, goes himself down the right, now stretched over to the left again, approaches the D, lovely little step over. He's at an acute angle now, but with Russia, they're off 3 men forward. Yes, they are winning, and they are a better team than Belgium on this day. Lovely play over to the right, but they do bring men forward. That's one piece that they do compared to a number of other teams. Instead of leaving players forward, they all pile forward and all get back. Very fit team, very fit, physical side are Russia. Back to the halfway line, Igorov, and they know that they can just play the ball around their own back line, keep the clock ticking. Now less than 5 minutes remaining. 1 point needed by Belgium, and they're going to be getting 3. Chance for Ivanov, left-hand side of the D, just stumbles over the ball. And across comes Arders. Tries to scoop it past his player and just ends up scooping it into the leg, and Ivanov using his power, shoving Arders out of the way, and it runs out for a goal kick to Belgium. And there's going to be a substitution once more. Coming off is number 7, Denis Igorov, and coming on will be number 8, Shaliev. So a chance for Shaliev to increase his goal tally. He's already got the 5 in this tournament, but he's failed to score today.
Egorov certainly hasn't failed to score today, though. Pete, he goes off. It could be the last time we see him before tomorrow's semi-final, of course. Who will Russia face? They are more or less certainly there now, unless Belgium get 3 goals in 4 and a bit minutes, which I very much doubt. Bonya throws it towards the left-hand side as Belgium come forward and look to end Group B on a high as far as they're concerned, with 3 points to their name. They've got 5 goals. They all came in the same match, against Georgia, the whipping boys of the group. Ivanov charging down the centre, then goes on the outside the left, going all the way towards goal. Isla with a really good recovery challenge, but Ivanov not letting this one up. He's got 3 players around him, and they're all struggling to stop him. So powerful as he strikes with the right foot that time around. It does fizz wide, and it will be a goalkeeper's ball, but Belgium call a timeout first. Their last one of this game, and with 4 minutes to go, what do you think their coach is saying now, Pete?
Well, I think on the Russian side that they'll be saying more of the same. Just keep the ball, let's run the play down, don't give away any fouls or needless yellow cards and any injuries. On the Belgium side, it's just going to be, well, you've got basically 4 minutes left of the European Championships. Go and try and do your best and score a goal, and if they keep it down to 2, then Belgium will be relatively happy. You mentioned that there was a goalless game between these two in 2015, but Russia by far the superior side in these championships, and Belgium, again, it's just going to be a quick chat with them all to say, look, you've got 4 minutes, do what you can, enjoy these last 4 minutes, and then we'll regather. And one of the questions, actually, I'm going to try and have a word at the end of the game with one of the coaches from Belgium, and my first question is going to be, what would you need to improve on for future tournaments? And also I'm going to try and ask them to pick out one of their best players at the tournament, and maybe hopefully have a quick word with Dorian Cornelis as well, who hopefully she might actually make an appearance. She made history earlier on in the tournament, and I can't see why not. She can't come on for the final 4. So we'll keep a close look on the far side on the right. That's the lovely view behind the goal away to our right, the scoreboard end. It's we're in the ruins of an old train station. We'd be actually on the lines here, and it makes for a lovely amphitheatre and a lovely location for blind football. Behind the other side, actually, there's a concert venue, theatre venue with a very interesting roof. Looks like a big circus top, and yeah, very picturesque area of Berlin, right slap bang in the centre of Berlin, not far away from all the monuments and landmarks. Long throw forward by Belgium, straight downfield for Vespers, who controls well with his left foot. He turns his man, edge of the D, right-footed, scuffed effort, and, well, if one piece of play could sum up Belgium in this tournament, I think we've just witnessed it. Throughout to Sheliev down the right. Russia 2-0 up, cruising into the semi-finals. Going down the right, Sheliev into the D. And he won the 3rd. And Sheliev is trying to get his first of the game. And he's got a chance here from the edge of the D. Just can't move the ball out of his feet. And he tries once again to win it back. And Ideas swings a boot and plays it up to halfway. Finds Tikhonov. Tikhonov again hasn't scored in this game, who scored in the previous big win over Georgia. So he'll be looking to get on the score sheet. Lovely drag back on the edge of the broken line. Goes down the left. Marseille Roulette on the edge of the D. If he can turn and shoot, it'll be up there with one of the goals in the tournament. Still going is the number 3 for Russia. And eventually he gets out-muscled by Bertenschamp. Turns and plays the ball up to halfway.
Yeah, of course, Tikhonov as well missed a penalty earlier on for Russia, which would have put the icing on a good final group game win for them. Almost sealed the deal now to getting to those semi-finals. They're just waiting for the referee's final whistle. The referee has blown a whistle that time around for a free kick against Vespers, who has certainly made friends with the floor during this game. He's been down there quite a lot due to several injury issues in this match, and the fact that he's been able to continue is testament to him and testament to Belgium as well, because quite a few of their players have suffered knocks and injuries during this game, but have not let that deter them from continuing. As the team foul is given for Belgium, that is their 5th team foul of the match. So one more team foul from Belgium, which is effectively a direct free kick, then it will be an 8-metre penalty for Russia, and it would be their 2nd penalty of the match. So Russia with a free kick on the near side, as Tikhonov goes down the right, then checks in field, just past the halfway line in a central position now, faced up by Vespers, easily glides past him like he wasn't there, past another one, shot comes in right-footed, straight into the hands of Bonyard. Tikhonov there with a wonderful mazy run. His ridgery has been pretty rare in this game, it has to be said, compared to other matches, but he almost got on the end of that one. ball thrown forward as the red flag shown there, meaning that Belgium are living on a knife edge, ticking off. Tried to go inside. Burton Chomp wins the ball fairly this time around, coming towards the halfway line. Those two have been very familiar with each other in this game. Burton Chomp coming out on top this time, and he goes down the left, then cuts back in field again. Tikhonov managed to retrieve himself and get in front of Burton Chomp, who plays a good ball to Vespers. Vespers poorly controlled from him, though. Didn't really get his body shape right as it came towards him. Hit the outside of his right foot rather than the inside, and it trickles behind for a... well, I thought that'd be a Russian ball, and the referee's identified a deflection there from a red jersey. So a chance for Belgium to get 2 players into the opposing half. I think that's the first time I've said that in this match, particularly in the second half. Vespers stood on the far side with Burton Chomp. Those two over this one, and Vespers takes on the right-hand side. He's going to try and do this himself, I think. He's got 2 red players in front of him. That Russian cluster denying Vespers from an opportunity on goal that time around. Ball forced on the far side again. Vespers coming in field. Loktonov once again so commanding at the back. Solid stuff from the Russian, and it looks like Russia here are going to get their second clean sheet of the tournament. But then Ivanov looks as if he's been adjudged to have brought down Vespers, who's now holding his left ankle on the floor, and Ivanov had to be careful there because he's already had a yellow card in this match. The referee just saying that it will be a team foul rather than a second yellow for Ivanov, who pleads his innocence, but he will remain on the pitch, and that would have been disastrous for Russia had Ivanov gone off there and then been out of the semi-final. And Vespers seeming to have been fouled more by the kickboard than by Ivanov, and that is why he pleads his innocence. And the last thing Russia want, yes, they're going to win this game, yes, they're going to go through to the semi-finals. They do not want to have suspensions coming in to future games. Of course, the semi-final up next, and if Ivanov did get a second yellow card, he would have been out of that, and he is one of their main potent attacking threats. Free kick for Belgium on the right-hand side, just in the attacking zone. Stood over it is Burton Chomp. In front of him is Vespers. Burton Chomp will just roll the ball through the legs of Vespers, who can maraud forward towards the posse of red in front of him. Stood on the edge of the Russian area. So Vespers, right-footed shot, and once again fails to hit the target. Yakovlev might as well have made himself a cup of tea in this second half, because he's not had too much to do in the Russian net at all. A change being made now from Russia, and as a precautionary measure, Evgeny Ivanov being sensibly taken off there by his coach, Alexander Arastov. And coming on for him is Denis Egorov, who has already got 1 goal in this game. He's also on a yellow card, so he'll be making sure he doesn't foul anybody and get a second yellow. But while Russia have got the ball, there should be no issues. A throw forward from Yakovlev towards the left-hand side. Shelyaev gets a solid connection on that ball to bring it under control. Comes towards the broken line, 8 metres out now as he runs towards the right side of the area. Shot, and that is surely saved by Burton Chomp there with 2 hands. The referee says no. It's parried towards the near side. Shelyaev scurrying with the ball in the corner, and then back towards Egorov on the broken line. Coming laterally inside, in a central position now. Chops and checks back. Right for the shot. Oh, what a firecracker. Great save on Bonar. Reaction save, tips onto the right-hand post, and it squirms out towards the far side. Crowd getting a bit too excited by that. Of course, silence required in the stadium at all times, but sometimes you just can't contain yourself. Shelyaev coming in from the left, 8 metres out, shot comes in, and that flies past the top left-hand corner. Russia again showing how they've not just got 1, 2, they've got around 3 players on the pitch at one time that are capable of doing those mazy runs and getting shots in towards the opposition net. Throw from Bonyard towards the right-hand side, and Salek takes control of the ball 8 metres from his own byline, then plays it centrally downwards. Egorov leaning down and winning the ball just in front of Vespers. Good bit of screening that from Egorov, who now laterally runs in field, gets to just the left-hand side now, and then back, worming his way down the left, back central again. Burton Chomp gets his body in the way on the edge of the area now. Egorov side on towards goal, flips around, and that looks like a nasty injury on his right foot there. That was a very awkward landing, and Burton Chomp may have not just conceded a foul there, but he just kicks the ground. It's completely nothing to do with Bertenschamp. Egorov went to shoot, got his right foot stuck into the turf, and then he flipped over on it, and that is a nasty injury. He's lucky not to have injured his left arm as well there. And of course, the semi-final for Russia, it's tomorrow, and Egorov, their key man, on 6 goals, their top scorer. And will he even be able to make the matchday squad? That is a horrible injury. On the pitch at the moment is the guide, Vitaly Budikin, who's come from his position behind the goal to check how he is. Also on the pitch as well is the team doctor, Yuri Kirichuk and Konstantin Starkov, the physio, and they will lead Egorov off. And what a sad start for Russia, with 17 seconds remaining in this game. He may have just seen his tournament took away from him. His right trainer is off, and he goes down towards the bench on the far side. A really uncomfortable moment that for Russia, who may be delighted at the fact they've got to the semi-finals, but the shadow running over that headline will be this sight here. And Egorov has got his hands on his face. He's just trying to instruct the doctor as to where the pain is. And if there are tears seeping through that blindfold, which there could be, then you have to feel sorry for Denis Egorov. Man of the match today, an eye straight on that ankle. And that is really sad scenes for Russia. Bertenschamp kicks it down the left-hand side. It goes out of play. And Russia, we said just beforehand, they didn't want Ivanov to be suspended. They brought on Egorov as a precaution, and that's completely backfired because Egorov is injured and Ivanov has to come back on the pitch. Now he may be able to score as he comes towards the edge of the area. And what a sour note for Russia to end up. They qualified for the semi-finals, but unfortunately for them, their star man Denis Egorov looks like a serious doubt for that game tomorrow against either England or France or Germany, or maybe even Italy as well. Of course, we'll have to find out as to who qualifies from Group A later today, and also find out in Group B where Russia finish in the top 2, but they will finish in the top 2. That's the main thing. They won't be able to be completely darkened by that injury to their star man Denis Egorov, as their coach Alexander Arastov will be able to begin plans for the match tomorrow. Russia are in the semi-finals. Belgium, as we knew already, have to settle for the 7th place playoff. The big question for them is that when they come back on Friday and play in that game, will they be able to finish higher than the 8th position they achieved in Hereford back in 2015. But the main story here from Berlin on day 6 of these IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 is that Denis Egorov, my main man for Russia, is a massive injury down for their game tomorrow in the semi-final, to be confirmed as to who they will face. But the final score here in Berlin is Russia 2, Belgium 0. And I'm glad to say that we have Pete Selby on the field with the Belgian coach, Frédéric Jacquemart. Down to you, Pete.
Xavier, the team leader of the Belgium team, obviously disappointed not to qualify for the latter stages of this tournament. What do Belgium need to work on to go further in international competitions?
Well, first of all, we knew that we will never reach the semi-finals. We arrived here with a full energy. What we have to do for the future is certainly strengthen our team and have, you know, a team like we had now at the end, but the beginning was a bit difficult.
Quick word on the history that was made earlier on in the tournament, with Dorian Cornelis becoming the first female player to make an appearance in a major football finals.
Well, apparently, to what I understand, is that she is the first woman on a world championship. So, of course, we are very proud to have Doreen. Unfortunately, she couldn't play because she's not our major player, but I'm sure with a lot of training, she will reach the level that she...
Yeah, You had a very tough group with the likes of Turkey and Spain and Russia in there. Do you think the winner of this competition will come from one of those three teams?
Well, honestly, I don't think we were very lucky with the drop. But finally, what I think personally is Great Britain will do it. They are really on a level. I think there are three teams that are really on a level of on the top, you know, really on the top.
Congratulations on your tournament and all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. He said he was unlucky for Belgium to be drawn in that group. To be fair, the way that England are playing in the other, they wouldn't have fared much better either side. But he says there's lots of progression there, and they were really happy to have Doreen Cornelis, who made her debut and international debut for Belgium, becoming the first female player, as he said, Xavier, there in the World Series, anywhere in the world at a major championships. So, take a look back at this game, Jonathan Bell. We're going to have a look at the highlights in a second, but it's not necessarily the goals that are the talking point towards the end of this game, and we'll explain that. If you're literally just tuning in, we'll explain that in a second. Let's take a look at the goals right now. We never really thought there was going to be a doubt as to who the winner was going to be. It's right at the end. This is the big talking point. That kick to the floor for their top goal scorer, Igorov, and he seemed in a lot of pain.
Yeah. And they're just cooling down from that game, but the one person as well, which is a real sad side for those of a Russian persuasion. It was a fantastic second half for them. They didn't really get the goals that they would have liked, but it was all about just getting the win today and progressing through to those semi-finals, and it's now out of their hands as to whether they will get to that later on or not, because Spain against Turkey is the game coming up in Group B tonight at 7:30 local time. So it's not until that game actually finishes when then will Russia actually know who they're facing in the next game. They are in the semi-finals, however, but Igorov, I don't think, will be in that game, and it's such a sad sight for Russia.
Igorov, who got the second for Russia, even off in the first half, and as you say there, Jonathan, they would have wanted far more goals, and considering they had 32 shots on target.
Of course, they had a penalty as well in the second half with Tikhonov, which he failed to put in the back of the net, and he scored a penalty actually last time out when they beat Georgia. And Russia maybe taking the foot off the gas a bit in this one. Complacency is something that, of course, you don't want to see, and I wouldn't say they were, but of course they knew that the task was just getting a point. They got 3 points, they're through to the semi-finals. The big thing now is moving on from this game and hoping that Denis Igorov will be okay for the semi-finals tomorrow.
So, from the highlights you can see how dominant Russia were in the game without actually getting a decisive scoreline from it. And again, another save coming in. So Igorov's injury, unfortunately, the talking point after that game. Not enough goals for Russia's liking, but job done for them. They really just wanted a point to prove a point. They've got the victory. They're through to the next stage of the competition. More group games coming up in a little while. Let's take a look at the shots on targets from all of the teams that took part here so far in this competition. That's interesting. We've 104, which should be, in fact, someone else. So Russia with 104 shots on goal, as you can see there. England have already racked up 87, and they've still got a game to go. Georgia's 54 after their 4 games, and we're looking forward to the next piece of action that's coming up here on day number 6. It is, of course, France versus Italy. It's at 1:30, just under an hour away until that one. They both need to win to stand a chance. A draw, and Germany are home and dry into the semi-finals in a home tournament. We'll be back with you a little bit later on.